Hello, and welcome back to Quiet English with Jackie. I'm Jackie, and this is The Selfish Giant, Episode 3. Today, I want you to listen very carefully, because this is the moment when something begins to change. Have you ever noticed how one small moment can change everything? Sometimes it's a sound, or a voice, or even just a feeling. And suddenly, something inside of you shifts. Recently, I have been looking forward to something for a very long time. And it has happened. And everything is now changed. My last daughter living at home was offered a place at a university. And she has been praying and waiting for this opportunity. When it came, she said yes. And now everything has changed. She will move away from home. My husband and I will be alone. It will be very different. Has anything like that happened to you? Well, let's return to our garden. The giant was sitting by his window. He looked outside at the cold, white garden. The snow was still there. The frost still covered the trees. Everything was quiet. Then, one morning, he heard something, a very soft sound. Listen. It was a bird, a little bird singing. The giant sat up in his chair. A bird? He said softly. I have not heard a bird sing in a long time. Well, the sound was so sweet and so gentle that it felt like music in the air. The giant went to the window and looked outside, and what he saw surprised him. The wall was still there, but somehow the children had found a way in. They were back in the garden. They had climbed through a small hole in the wall. And now they were sitting in the branches of the trees. And something amazing was happening. Where the children sat, the trees were beginning to bloom. Well, soft white blossoms opened on the branches. Pink flowers appeared. The trees reached out gently, as if they were happy the children had returned. Birds flew through the garden again. They sang happily, moving from tree to tree. The giant watched all of this in silence. And for a moment, he did not feel angry. He felt something else. Something quiet and new. And then he saw one more thing. Over in the corner of the garden, there was a small child. He was very little, too small to climb the tree by himself. The boy stood below the branches, reaching up, trying to climb, but he could not. The tree above him was still covered in frost. It had not begun to bloom. The little boy looked cold, and he looked alone. And when the giant saw this, something changed inside of him. Have you ever seen someone struggling and felt something in your heart, that quiet feeling that says, you should help. The giant felt it too. For the first time, he understood. My garden, he said slowly. Why is it still winter here? And then he knew. It is because I have been selfish. The giant stood up and he walked slowly out into the garden. When the children saw him, they were afraid. They climbed down from the trees and they ran away. And just like that, winter returned to those places. But the little boy did not run. He was still trying to climb the tree, and he did not see the giant coming closer, and the giant walked up to him very quietly and gently. He lifted the small child in his hands and placed him in the tree. At once, the tree burst into bloom. Flowers opened. Birds began to sing. Warmth returned to that corner of the garden. The little boy smiled. And in that moment, the giant's heart became soft. Thank you for listening to Quiet English with Jacque. If this story is helping you relax or helping you to practice your listening skills, send me a short message and tell me, where are you listening from? And what moment in this story you liked the most? I may share your message in a future episode. And in the next episode, episode 4, we will see what happens when the giant changes his ways and what becomes of the little boy. Until next time, take care and God bless.